Just what I always wanted. Bad orc metal. Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome to my review of Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 7, where I'm going to admit I was wrong. I said last week I thought it was going to be an easy go for this week's episode. I thought it was going to be a battle. I could just skip over a bunch of shit, make some commentary about bad choreography, and call it a day. But no, Rings of Power, they're not going to let me do anything easy. They decided to give us, it's not the worst. I still think the worst one was the massive lore breaks from a few episodes ago. I think it was episode 5. But this was just a gobbledygook of nonsense filled with plot armor, things that don't quite line up, especially because they decided to, once again, squash the timeline in order to have events that have no connection to one another actually influence each other. This show is a god-awful disaster, and we only got one episode left after this. So let's just get this over with. Episode 7, the battle, siege, crappily done, choreograph, whatever. Let's go. I've had enough. Let's go!
Here they come.
Slow to learn, are you?
Easy, lads. Just turn around.
The dwarves have very little to do in this episode when you think about it. I thought I was going to have to do a whole streamline thing. We're going to have to do that with the elves because 90% of this episode is elves and Eregion. But the dwarves have a little tiny part to play, even though they shouldn't. So, Durin the Third is giving orders to his dude to go get rid of Durin the Fourth and Disa, who have for, I guess, a couple of days now. We're going to get into the gray area, the very muddied idea of how long time has continued to pass in this stupid episode. But they've been apparently, the two of them have been enough to stymie the attempts to continue to mine for mithril and other fine ores and metals and gems from Khazad-dûm. So he's telling them to do whatever you got to do to get them out of there. So Seneschal Man is going to take a crew. He's going to take another small crew down there. And as we turn the corner, you saw the transcript. Why does Disa look more ready to fight than Durin? And also, man, why do they keep showing us her fatty leg? Why? I don't want to see it. Why is she made so threatening? Because she's just stupid. She is the most obnoxious, poorly written, obvious girl boss, I'ma tell you what to do bitch of all time. She really is. She I'm sorry. She rivals Galadriel. Galadriel may be a bitch on wheels, but Disa is a girl boss bully. Galadriel's annoying, but Disa's a girl boss bully. So, are you ready to fight some more? Did you not get enough? I mean, shut up. Just shut up. Go get yourself eaten by the Balrog already so I can be done with you. They're ready. And she just looks so stupid. I'm gonna fight you. Durin the Fourth tells them, hey, boys, do you really want to do this? Let's not. But, of course, Seneschal Man's going to go, no, we're with you. The elves are losing. They've sent a representative, one to speak to you. Of course, Durin the Fourth goes, hey, wait a minute. An elf is here to speak? Okay, fine. Let's do it. And guess what? Oh, it's his boyfriend. He's so happy to see his boyfriend. He's just thrilled. He said some words. I don't remember what they are. I think they translate to as, give me the meat, give it to me raw. That's what it translates to me as, because they're gay for each other. Elrond is going to now say, I need your help, man. We got problems at Eregion, man. My boys are going to lose. We're outnumbered. Adar, he's going to beat us down. I need dwarves. I need that dwarven meat. Raw, ready to go. So Durin goes, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. I'm going to overthrow my dad. You got dwarven numbers. You got a dwarven legion ready to go. We're going to skip forward, of course, because as usual, Nothing really connects in this story. Everything's disconnected, so you can break it all down and talk about it separately. So Durin's first giving a speech to rouse the population of Khazad-dûm. We're dwarves. We love to fight. We're not greedy. Yeah. Everybody going, yeah. That's kind of it. Everybody's with him. So we're going to skip to way later in the episode. He's got, I guess, a couple hundred ready to go. Oh, yeah, that's a mighty Dwarven legion. And he's ready to go. Except no, here comes Seneschal Man, who apparently had been on guard duty with Disa. He tells him that Durin the Third took an axe and was a juggernaut through all of them. He doesn't know if Disa's alive. I hope she's not dead. Her plot armor extends at least one more episode. And Durin the Fourth says, wait a minute, but we're about to go fight orcs in Eregion. I gotta go. It's like, no, if you go, you might not be here because your father is about to unleash the beastie by mining more. First of all, I just gotta bring it up. They haven't confirmed anything is down there yet. They don't even know what's down there. There's no, the beast is gonna release. What beast? What beast? You haven't even seen the Balrog. It went like this at Disa last time. Because she went, we don't know what's there. But no, we know there's a beastie, and King is going to unleash it because he went down there by himself and maybe beat up Disa. No way. She beats him up. She swings that fat around and knocks him down. But that's it. We're done with the dwarves because, of course, the dwarves were not going to end up Eregion because they were never there. They were never there at the battle. Okay? They welcomed survivors later on after it's all said and done, but they didn't actually arrive at the battle to help. So, of course, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay had to condense the timeline once more so that something happens to keep them from getting there. And what's that going to be? Well, I guess we get the Balrog next week. The Balrog, of course, will keep them from arriving. And I knew that was going to happen the whole time. I knew a legion of dwarves was not going to show up at Eregion. I knew it. And I knew it was going to be because of the Balrog. So there you go. Events, as I said in the intro, that have no legitimate connection to each other in the actual lore are now connected. The dwarves could not go save Eregion because the Balrog was awake and about to be unleashed, as opposed to the fact that it's hundreds and hundreds of years now until the Balrog actually gets woken up when the dwarves legitimately delve too deep into the mines. But hey, this is Rings of Power. They don't give a shit. All right, moving on. All right, we got a lot of elven crap to get through here. Let's do it.
Hello, Mr. Mouse.
The siege of Eregion begin in all its riveting glory. We open with Celebrimbor having a cup of tea and working on the 9. You can see right there, you give us a little montage. He's individually making each one of them. He is essentially trapped in a delusion by Sauron, but he's going to begin to notice things. He looks in a reflection and sees what he really looks like. He sees a mouse on the floor that he's going to notice keeps reappearing in the same motion at the same time. Later on, he's going to notch a candle and realize that the wax is not melting, time isn't passing. But he's starting to question things as he's happily, merrily making the 9 rings in the middle of the siege. Let's remember, real lore. Celebrimbor had the 9 completed long before Sauron attacked and sacked Eregion. Sauron, not Adar, mind you. No, in this one, he's just working away, trapped in the delusion, later to be forced to continue to work under all these conditions. And you can see right here, he's basically just made the foundation for each ring. As opposed to later on, wow, that's a lot of work done overnight. really seriously, man. They have no concept of time in this show, but I'll show you that later. Right, so he's questioning things, he's wondering, but then he suddenly, it started with him looking at the Hammer of Feanor and realizes that one of the jewels is missing, he's looking for it, but then here comes his boyfriend. Boyfriend's going to say, hey man, don't worry about anything, just keep working because you're going to be great. Essentially, that's it. The more important conversations they have that we're going to criticize come a little bit later. It's all about right now showing us that Celebrimbor is trapped in the delusion and questioning it a little bit. Sauron's going to leave. He's going to go outside and show us, oh, here's the actual battle going on. Everybody's freaking out, man. Oh, we have a moment where he's going to be talked to by Elf, who is hotter than Galadriel, who questions him and says, what's going on? What are Lord Celebrimbor's orders? He says, Celebrimbor says, do nothing. That's kind of how Sauron has now duped everybody else. He's pretending that Celebrimbor is locked in the tower giving crap orders. Don't worry, they can't cross the river even though we're being attacked by siege weapons. Everything's fine, don't worry. It's his way of manipulation. Yes, isn't it great? Sauron's manipulating. She's going to question him, what do we do? And she's going to touch him and basically say, I'm so thirsty for you. Will you take me right here, right now in the middle of the battle? He says, no, don't worry. I'll take you later. A problem is the soldiers come up and say, guess what? What are we going to do now? They're continuing to advance. It looks like they're going to do stuff. Anatar says, no, I'm Lord in charge now. You guys, I'm going to take over because Celebrimbor, he's not going to help you. But before he can give an order, somebody says, look, the orcs are doing something different because Adar has given an order to turn the siege weapons and aim them at the mountainside. So they stand there and watch like idiots as the orcs turn their siege equipment on the mountainside to cause an avalanche to, as elf girl who has nice tits that is hotter than Galadriel says, they're going to dam the river. You know, we can kind of see that. But no, this is Rings of Power. They have to tell you what we're seeing. Now, I question this whole moment here is these are rocks that have been stable for thousands of years. But some well-placed siege weapons. You can see one right there. Oh, man, look at that precarious large boulder just leaning on that tiny little rock, and their rocks are going to hit, and it's all going to fall, and there comes the landslide. It's an avalanche, and guess what? The river gets dammed, so now the orcs are going to advance across the muddy water, and we have to worry. Now we got to worry. Yay! It's everything in this show is done out of convenience. That simple. Of course, now as the orcs are advancing, we have to get a shot that our good friend Legolas the Black has arrived. His fast travel load screen has finished just in time for him to get there. So we have to know that he's there. Meanwhile, elf girl who has nice tits that is hotter than Galadriel is walking the ramparts for some reason in the middle of the battle, even though she is not a fighter, simply to be there to tell us the orcs have a Ravager. What is a Ravager? Well, according to the show, a Ravager is a siege device that is supposed to weaken the wall by driving hooks and chains and spikes into it and then forcibly pulling it out so that it pulls out chunks and weakens the load-bearing sections of the wall. But she is there purely to tell us they have a Ravager. Fine. Okay. Let's move on to the more interesting retardation. We go back inside. Celebrimbor is starting to realize something's wrong. He's not working. Sauron comes in and says, why aren't you working? I need the 9. Wait, we have all the time in the world because everything's repeating. Look, there's the mouse, here's the candle, blah, blah, blah. What aren't you telling me? And now we have our lover's quarrel. What is our lover's quarrel? Celebrimbor says, you're lying to me. You're manipulating me. I don't trust you anymore. Who are you? And he throws the hammer at Sauron, who just easily goes, whoop, and it breaks the window, and suddenly the illusion is broken. He can hear the battle, and Celebrimbor is going to teeter outside, see the war, and suddenly he's in the present, in the reality, and we have a meltdown. Oh my God, everything's terrible. What have I done? I turned a blind eye. And as he stumbles around his workshop, he turns over what we thought was the jar, the vial, the collection of pure mithril. No, it turns out it's Sauron's blood. Hey guys, payoff. Remember last week we asked, why did he cut his hand? Well, apparently he cut his hand to fill a jar with his blood to be the foundation of the 9 rings. So they start to have a big fight. Who are he? Realizes I'm Sauron, and he gives a nice little speech. Well, all right, you know what? We're there. Here's part of the speech.
I have learned so much from you since I came to Eregion. But no lesson more lasting than this. True creation requires sacrifice.
True creation requires sacrifice. Right now, this show wants us to believe that through this interaction, all these makings of the rings, I'm so glad we've been working together for weeks. He actually says that a moment ago before the illusion breaks. I'm so glad. Weeks? By your own show timeline, it's only been a couple of days. You have failed to show us how long any of this has taken. But that's a different discussion for later on. He says sacrifice. True creation sacrifice. All right, so this is now telling us that this is the moment where he gets the idea that in order to make something powerful, you have to put yourself into it. Poured all his hate, malice, envy, everything was him into the One Ring. This is supposed to be the moment where he gets the idea for the One Ring. At least that's how I interpret this. This is wrong. It's wrong because it didn't happen this way. And I know I keep being told, Adam, you cannot line up real lore when they're breaking lore. Then what else am I supposed to do? What's the point of any of this if I cannot point out how wrong it is? Because remember, they've done everything wrong here. The ring's been made out of order. It's supposed to go 793, not 379. All right? Sauron is supposed to be out there, sieging, attacking, not inside, telling Celebrimbor, thank you for teaching me everything about making rings. I now know I have to put all of myself into the One Ring when I create it. Well, Celebrimbor says, you're Sauron. I got many names. He's going to go outside and see everything going on. He's going to get knocked over by a stray siege boulder, I guess, that doesn't kill him because he's got plot armor until the siege is over. Because Celebrimbor is going to die. He dies at the end of the siege, sacking of Eregion. The problem is, instead of running around like a crazy old man telling everybody, this is Sauron, he's actually been giving orders. He's actually been leading the defense of Eregion like a Chad, not sitting up in the room, trapped in a delusion by Sauron. But no, now Sauron's plan to have him look like a madman is working because as he tries to tell everybody, he's Sauron, they're all looking at him like, you're the one that's been giving us bad orders. You're why we're here now, why we have no allies, why we're trapped and dying. And he points at him and says, no, look, he's Sauron. Look, his hand, it's black. And then he holds his hand up in a very simple Sauron illusion. Oh, look, my hand is fine. Of course, a little while later, it's going to be completely healed because guess what? Sauron's a goddamn god. He can heal himself. Now, elf girl with nice tits who's hotter than Galadriel is going to try and calm him down and say, listen, you're crazy. We still love you, but you're crazy. Go back up into the tower. Anatar is Lord of Eregion now. You need to stop. And Celebrimbor is going to go, no, you get away from me. He's all lying to you. And in that moment, as he touches elf girl with nice tits who's hotter than Galadriel, Sauron's going to go flick. And she's going to get telekinetically blasted over the edge of the wall to make it look like that Celebrimbor threw her over the wall for deigning to question him. And this is, when I said earlier that Sauron was going to give it to her, well, he just gave it to her, all right? He gave it to her. She lands on the ground. The orcs will kill her. Bye-bye. fake fanfic character who was hotter than Galadriel. Nice to have known you. And he's gonna lean close to Celebrimbor and say, listen. You want to survive this? Finish the rings, all right? So Celebrimbor is gonna go begrudgingly finish the rings in a night. You saw them earlier. They were at their foundation. They haven't been goldsmithed. They haven't been engraved. They haven't had any of the jewels set in. They are base. He's gonna do them all in one night because he's just that good. Let's get to some. This gets you. If you can possibly believe this gets worse, it does. Here comes Elrond. Elrond, after having spoken to Durin the Fourth, he is now leading the charge. Here's the problem. In the actual lore, Elrond didn't make it in time to even have a chance to make a difference at the siege and then the sacking of Eregion. He arrived late to the party. So much so that he was completely caught off guard by Sauron's army being there. And then he got routed and retreated and founded Rivendell. That's the lore. But nope. Here we go. Here comes Elrond with his copy and pasted CGI cavalry army. They're going to charge the lines of Adar. All the orcs have been going, and here comes Adar as they wheel out the cart that holds Galadriel. Well, they're within a foot of it. And Elrond's going to stop. He's going to pull up short. And of course, we have to have a shot of Asian elf girl who all the stands go, I miss her. Even though she hasn't had any character development or any story whatsoever. I miss her. I need to know she's okay. Guess what? She ain't going to be okay because she doesn't have plot armor. They pull up short, literally feet to form a perfect dividing line between the two sides. And notice one side is shrouded in shadow. The other one is bathed in light. They see Galadriel, who has a knife to her throat, a pinprick of blood on her neck. What shall we do? Hey, let's sit down and have a talk. I can't take this anymore. This is retarded. So Elrond and Adar are going to have a talk while Galadriel looks on. Long story short, because we got to now get to the cringe moment, which is not really anything, but it is still cringe as hell. Conversation goes as such. Elrond, we're here to stop you. Adar, I have more troops than you do. I have more experience than you do. We have position. We're going to win. Elrond, okay, we're still going to fight you. I'm going to make you earn it. Adar, tell me where Galadriel's ring is. Elrond, I don't have it. I don't have it on me. Adar, I think you're lying. You're a courier. You're not a commander. I think it's on you. Elrond, no, it's not. It's back in Lindon. Well, are we done? Adar, yes, we're done. I'm going to kill all of you now. Elrond, okay, but can I say goodbye to Galadriel real quick? It's going to be the last time I see her. Adar, sure, because next time you see her, her head will be on a pike, even though she's got plot armor on top of plot armor on top of plot armor. There's no way she's threatened. So now Elrond is going to walk over to Galadriel. He's going to paw her face a little bit. As he walked, I noticed it. He clipped off something from his cloak, his clasp. And after he's done pawing with her, he leans in and he gives her a soft lip-on-lip kiss. Now, first of all, I thought, wait, is there any tongue there? Is he slipping her something with the tongue? Like a key or something? No. Now, I spotted this immediately as the scene pulled out. He's putting something in her hand. It's obviously whatever he took off of his clasp. It's a device she'll pick her cuffs with later on. But here's the whole point of this. First of all, it was merely a distraction. I understand that. It was a distraction. Everybody's watching them have a kiss so they don't notice him putting the thing in her hand. The problem is this, though, and why this is just plain weird. He's her son-in-law. In reality, he's her eventual son-in-law. He has been in lore courting her daughter, who she had with Celeborn, who we haven't even heard from. We got one episode left, no mention yet, no sign of it, none at all, because that gets in the way of the shipping. So, but we have them kiss, and it's just plain weird and uncomfortable, because the whole show has essentially placed them as brother and sister. Not even, mother-in-law, son-in-law, but brother and sister. It's just weird that he could have done a hug. He could have given her a hug and placed it in her hand when nobody was looking. But J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay and everybody on this ragtag collection of morons who write and direct this shit, women, they had to have a Tumblr kiss. A weird, cringy Tumblr kiss, because that's all these people know, how to do Tumblr writing. Oh, look, a guy and a girl. There has to be some sort of sexual tension, even though there isn't. Let's have them kiss. It's just weird and cringe. Plain and simple, weird and cringe. Didn't need to happen, but they wanted it so they can appease the weirdos. The weirdos who draw all the creepy fan art. You should see the fan art between last week and this week of they were shipping Galadriel and Adar. They were literally shipping Galadriel and Adar, and I hate this that I come across it, but it's because I troll these people on Twitter. They had threesome fan art of Sauron, Adar, and Galadriel making out all over each other. There is something wrong with all these people. But the people who write and create this show know exactly who they're making this for. The same weirdos who are Raylos, the same weirdos who watch The Acolyte, all 80,000 of them. Because the petition didn't get more than 80,000 votes right now. Sorry, signatures, whatever. You understand what I'm saying, though? They did this to appease the weirdos. And, well, hey, great, I love it, fine. This gives me something to talk about here. We're moving on, though. We have to move on. Elrond's going to leave. Adar thinks it's going to be done. It's over with. He's got it won. Elrond's going to tell one of his remaining dudes from the most diverse group of adventurers ever, don't worry, you're going to go off and link up with Durin's Legion of Dwarves, and you guys are going to arrive at sunrise, and you're going to help us. And they even freaking Memberberry look to the sun. Instead of look to the east, look to the north, but we'll get there. So now we get, for some reason, think about the layout of this battle. Essentially, Adar's army has Eregion surrounded in a siege. So he kind of just lets Elrond's forces get inside the perimeter of the siege and begin to defend the wall. Just let that sink in. Yeah, makes no sense. Well, the battle will commence with very poor choreography that nobody knows what they're doing. A lot of quick shots, close-ups, quick cuts to show you these people can't do choreography. There's going to be a horse murder scene that's going to enrage Elrond. He's going to kill the orc who killed his horse. It's a lot of bullshit and a lot of crap. Bad choreography. We don't need to spend time going over it frame by frame. Just know that it sucks. Throughout the whole thing, the Ravager continues to weaken the wall. Elrond needs to get to it, and time is going to actually pass. The sun's going to go down, and we now begin to see this very thinly veiled storyline of how the orcs are eventually going to betray Adar. Not in this episode, but next time, and maybe into next season. Who knows how it's going to work? Because there will be a season 3. There is going to be season 3. After that, it's canceled. But anyway. Orc who likes his family, who wants to live in peace, keeps telling him, do we have to do this? Do we have to do this? Because Elrond had planted the seeds of, are you going to sacrifice all your children for what's going to happen here? Do you really need to do that? And of course, Adar's going, yes, I do, because Sauron will be even more cruel to them than I am, because I love my kids. But Orc who wants his family and wants to live in peace keeps saying to him, Father, do we really need to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yes, we have to do this. You need to shut up and do what I say. Let's go. Meanwhile, they go back into the tent, and Galadriel has picked her lock and gotten away. And now Adar's like, find her, find her. Funny thing is, she hasn't gone far. Because there are female orcs in the camp, Galadriel can shroud herself in a cloak and try to pass through them as a female orc. She gets basically forced to help carry some dead bodies to funeral pyres that they're doing in the middle of the siege. So also we can have her watch Adar cry over the dead bodies of the orcs. Remember, the orcs aren't really bad, everybody. They're just forced to do this stuff. They just want to live happy, peaceful lives, continue to multiply until they can just swarm the world. All right? It's fine. Don't worry about it. She's going to try to escape, but then she's going to get caught. But, of course, she has to get saved. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised that they had her saved by Legolas the Black. We had to hook her up with Legolas the Black so he can get involved. Now, once again, we get a quick glimpse of how retarded and stupid Galadriel is. She's like, oh, Legolas the Black, I'm so glad you're here. We need to get out of here. He goes, no, I'm here to kill Adar. So let's understand the situation here. Legolas the Black has perfectly snuck into the orc encampment. Okay? Nobody knows he's there. He just killed a few there. Now, they're going to get caught in a minute, but he's killed a few that were right there trying to kill Galadriel. I'm here to kill Adar. He looks over. He has a clean shot. Adar is distracted by crying over the dead bodies of his kids. He is not paying attention. He just needs to take the shot and then distract everybody so Galadriel can get away. That would work. Go out in a blaze of glory, Legolas the Black. Earn some actual Chad points. But no. Galadriel has to say, enough elven heroes have died. We need you to live. Okay, so Galadriel, you have a chance to cut the head off the snake. Without a war boss, orcs are worthless. Okay? They need a war boss to terrorize them into battle. If you kill Adar here, according to this stupid story, the orcs have nobody to lead them because they haven't sworn fealty to Sauron yet. So all Legolas the Black has to do is, with his retarded posture, his retarded form, just headshot Adar and it's over. But no, I'm not going to let you do it. I'm not going to let you sacrifice yourself because we need you. So we're just going to take the two of us and go help out at the siege. We know a way in through Dwarven tunnels. You could have ended it right there. You kill the leader, they'd be in disarray, and the siege would halt. Because the orcs have nobody else. There is one commander in the orcs, Adar. That's it. He has no lieutenants. Orc who wants to live a peaceful, happy life with his family, he's not a commander. He hasn't given one single order. He's been given orders the entire time. There is no seniority, no chain of command. You kill Adar, it's over. But Galadriel, just on the latest list of stupid things she does that could have stopped atrocities, she just says no. So remember, from this point forward, everything Adar does in the show is because Galadriel wouldn't let Legolas the Black kill him right there in that moment. We return to Eregion, where Celebrimbor is diligently finishing the rings amidst the battle. So it's literally just been a few hours. It's only been a couple of maybe 4, 5, 6 hours, and the rings are essentially done. Jewels, extra gilding, all that kind of stuff. Master goldsmithing, crafting done on them. They're done. They're finished. He's just tinkering at this point. Also, all throughout this now we get this speech. This glorious, retarded, delusional, and yes, they point out it's delusional, but it's all trying to make us sympathize with Sauron. This discussion, the speech of Sauron didn't want to be this way. He was made this way by Morgoth. Well, here we go. Let's get a taste of it.
I see the end, Celebrimbor, so clearly. I have seen it from the moment I awoke. But his end, it was different from mine. For what he wished to destroy, I wished to perfect.
Remember when we started this whole season with these creators telling us this is Sauron's story? He didn't want to be this way. Events forced him to do this. He tried to find redemption last season with our shipping him with Galadriel, but it all broke apart. Well, here it is. Here it is. Morgoth made him this way. He was tortured by a god who only ever wanted to see destruction, but when he came into being, as soon as he awoke, he was able to see the true path, that the world was wrong, but it just needed fixing, and he's the one to fix it. They're going to have a back and forth, him and Celebrimbor saying, listen, Celebrimbor, Celebrimbor's going to respond, yeah, I know what it's like to be tortured by a god. You're torturing me right now. No, you don't understand. It's different. What you're doing to yourself, you brought upon yourself because you wouldn't work with me. I'm not really torturing you. And also, it's not about torture. It's about finding yourself and finding the will of who is stronger. See, I realized that I was stronger than Morgoth because I found the will to keep going. I found the will to enjoy the pain. And you can enjoy it too. But you need to finish the rings. Finish the rings. Or everybody's going to die. Celebrimbor gets one last dig. You really are the Lord of Deceit because you can deceive yourself. It's what we have here are people trying to sound deep. Writers, J.D. Payne and Patrick McCain wrote this episode with some other idiot. They think they have deep thoughts. They think they have profound ideas that they are putting out of the mouths of these two characters, but they're not. It's simplistic. It's dumb. It's stupid. And pushing the idea that Sauron is just misunderstood, but he's deceiving himself too, doesn't matter. We shouldn't even be having this conversation. Sauron is evil. He was always evil. He chose to be evil. Morgoth didn't torture him into being evil. He chose it twice. He first chose Morgoth, then at the end of the First Age Wars, he repented, but then chose to be evil again because he wanted to be Dark Lord. There is no room. There's no gray area to figure out that, oh, he's just misunderstood. No, he's evil. Well, he's going to leave, say, you got to finish the rings. It's time. We're running. Adar is going to be here soon. Celebrimbor is left alone. Now, at this point, we've realized he's chained to his work area, okay? He can move about pretty freely. Notice he can get up and walk around Adusha because he finishes the rings. And he gets an idea, I'm going to destroy them. And now we get the hint that because of Sauron's blood or whatever was put into these rings, they can't be destroyed by regular fire. Get the one ring by Mount Doom. See, he drops the rings in the hearth, tries to destroy it, doesn't work, and he's going to scrape them into a pouch and keep them, but now he can't get away. He's using his tools, he can't get rid of it. Bet you wish you hadn't thrown away Feanor's hammer now. That probably could have busted right through the chains. But he can't get out, and he looks over at one of the crafting devices he uses for ring making. He can't get the cuff off because his thumb joint is in the way. So what's his big idea? I'm going to cut my thumb off. I mentioned a second ago, he's got a lot of freedom of movement. Instead of cutting your thumb off, why don't you go an extra 2 inches, which clearly you can, and use the device to cut the chain? Just cut the chain. You don't have to cut your thumb off, you idiot. They do this for simple dramatic effect when anybody with a brain can see he has enough room, enough slack in that chain to just get it in there and use the device to cut the chain of the manacle. But no, he has to dramatically cut his thumb off so he can get the manacle off and escape with the rings. He gets outside. Everything's a problem. The troops stop him, say, you're not Lord anymore. You have to stay in the tower. You're retarded. But then he gets saved by Galadriel. Galadriel shows up and says, he is Celebrimbor. You must use the Lord of Eregion. You will listen to him, or by gods, I will beat you. She doesn't say that, but it implies it because she's Galadriel. She solves everything with her fists. After a really drawn-out speech of you'll listen to him, they recognize he is Celebrimbor. Oh, great, you really are Celebrimbor. We've known all the time. What are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. They have an exchange. She wants to help him stop Sauron, but he says, no, I've completed the 9 rings. As if she knows what that is. I've got 9 more rings. You have to take them with you. You have to run, Galadriel. When, in fact, the rings in lore were there. And he gets tortured into revealing... Well, Sauron gets the 9 rings from the sacking of Eregion, and he then tortures him into getting the rings for the dwarves. Nobody has received it. Let's remember, nobody in lore has been given a single ring yet. The Dwarven rings have been made. The 9 rings of men have been made. Yet they haven't been handed out. Sauron attacked Eregion to get the rings. And he captures and tortures Celebrimbor to get them. And the elven rings were made and secreted away. Nobody put them on yet. Okay? They were made and secreted away. And they weren't put on until after the one ring was put on, so that they weren't influenced at all. So, Celebrimbor says, no, I have to go face Sauron alone. You need to save the rings and get out of here and run. Take your dwarven tunnels and go. So that's it. That's Galadriel says, I love you, Celebrimbor. I'll miss you. And boop, she F's off because you remember also, she was never there. She was never at Eregion. Galadriel, I'll say Galadriel, never had a single instance of being involved with the attack, the siege, and the sacking of Eregion. She's not there. She's off with her daughter, doing shit. Her husband, Celeborn, he's involved with Elrond in trying to save it. But she ain't. So you realize they took her husband's agency, even though he didn't get there in time either. He actually left to join Elrond to try and fight it off, never got back. They took her husband's agency and gave it to her as part of a hero of Eregion. Isn't that great? They love Tolkien in this show, don't they? They respect him all the way. So she's gone. Let's see. Now, Celebrimbor is going to go to the top of the tower. They're going to face Sauron. And now we get more of Sauron's ambiguous power levels where they try to get him and he basically mind controls everybody into killing themselves. Okay? And then he's going to take Celebrimbor hostage, I assume, because we don't see them again for the rest of the episode. All right, moving on. During all of this, Adar's attempts to breach the wall are being stymied because Elrond's forces are putting up a good fight. Remember the forces he let get in there? He just let them walk on in and join the defense. Now, of course, everything's breaking down. The orcs are coming in stronger, don't know what to do. And remember when I said earlier how the stands are so obsessed with Asian elf girl? Is she safe? I need to know how she's doing. Well, guess what? She gets pin-cushioned after a nice little speech with Elrond, which reveals that her plot armor is all used up. She's afraid. What can I do? I have but arrows. Elrond says, even one arrow can make the difference in this battle, my elven Asian friend. Well, her one arrow makes a difference because as she gets pin-cushioned and she's going, she picks up the last arrow that has fire on it. And she draws her bow and releases it perfectly to arch through the air into a bucket of pitch near the Ravager, which causes it all to explode. And then she gets pin-cushioned some more and she's dead. Once again, we see characters created to die in place of characters who have plot armor. Because Elrond, he lives. He's got plot armor. He can't die. So Elrond and everybody, they're fighting. And finally, Adar says, and this is another plot point in the orcs losing faith in Dad. He says, let him in. Release him. So Adar Jr. goes, wait a minute. No, father, can't do that. He'll kill our people as much as the elves. Doesn't matter. Shut up and do it. So what does that mean? It's time to bring out that troll we saw 4 episodes ago. That everybody, all the weirdo stands, were thirsting over. Oh my God, he's so cool. We love him. Let him do his thing. He's looking for Sauron too. So here comes the troll everybody's supposed to be afraid of. And we now have a face-off between Elrond, the troll, Legolas the Black, and as they're fighting him, and he's basically suffering some damage, it's a really pathetic fight that kind of ends when Gil-galad and 3 other dudes shows up out of nowhere, trips him up with a chain to get him off his feet, and then they all just kind of stab him with swords to pin him out. I mean, Legolas the Black leaps off the rampart in his very gay acrobatic fashion and kicks him and rolls, and they stab him and they puncture him, and Gil-galad hits him with his spear, and they all kill him, and he's dead, and he laughs while he dies. That's it. That's it. This troll was supposed to be some giant force of nature, and they took him down pretty easily. Yes, he got a few hits with the Ravager in on the wall, but that was it. Oh, no, I got to mention again, though. Come back to it. What the hell is Gil-galad even doing here? He was never at this battle. He was never at Eregion. But he's here now. We brought 3 dudes with him. It makes no sense. It's like he's here just to be here, just to give the actor something to do. And a couple of lines to say, a king belongs on the front lines with his men. Well, you've got plot armor, so you're fine. Don't worry, my dude. Anyway, the sun is rising now. The sun is rising. And here comes Adar's troops. He says, full attack. The troll is dead, full attack. Sonny Boy Jr. looks real hesitant as Adar marches off to war, which shows again the very thinly written plot that he's not happy with what Daddy's doing. The orcs march. The sun is rising. Elrond actually says, look to the north. Durin comes, just like when Gandalf told Aragorn, look to the east on the 5th day. We'll be there. Look to the north in the morning. Durin's coming. But no, Durin isn't there because Durin never arrived because the dwarves and everything in the first place. So they had to come up with an excuse so the dwarves never arrived because the Balrog's attacking. So, of course, there's no reinforcements. So now Elrond, Gil-galad, Legolas the Black, and the 15 dudes they got left reform the ranks. Let's charge the orc lines that are marching on us, or they still have hundreds, apparently. And we get people getting their ass kicked and dying. And you think for a second you're going to get something maybe interesting because they set it up quite nicely. Legolas the Black has beef with Adar, so they're going to get a one-on-one. Nope, sorry. Adar pwns his piddly ass, takes him out. He's on the ground. I don't think he's dead. We didn't see dead look, so he's probably still bleeding out when we get to next episode. Elrond is going to charge Adar. Adar is going to rebuff him very easily and start to lecture him about how you fight a war. Don't fight a war in anger. He's going to basically lift him up, throw him down, and as he throws him down, his thumb caught on the chain that had Galadriel's ring. So Elrond, like an idiot, didn't leave the ring in Lindon because he went to Lindon, could have left the ring there, safe, out of harm's way. No, he brought it with him. The very item he hates, he kept it on his person. So now Adar has the ring. And the episode's over and we get orc metal. We're done. Let's get out of here.
I've got a house, sweetie Oros.
Nonsense, lore breaking, nothing works in this show. This whole battle was ridiculous. This battle was supposed to last 2 episodes. Jed was right again. What battle is left for going into next episode? There's no more troops. The elves are dead. Now it's the sacking. The sacking where it's supposed to be done by Sauron, not Adar. I guess Sauron's now going to chase Galadriel into the hills, and they're going to have their little face-off where they're going to kiss. Oh, they're going to kiss. And here's the thing. I love it. The stands think that they're winning with this. No, we're winning. We win when they kiss because we get to point out how goddamn cringe shipping is again. But I get ahead of myself. So what do we learn this episode? Plot armor is in full effect. characters like Asian Elf Girl and all these other things, they're all these other fake fanfic characters, they're created to die in place of real Tolkien characters. Because that's the whole point. These characters all have fated deaths, or at least survivals. In terms of, we're talking about Elrond and Galadriel, real Galadriel. They don't die. They get to go back to Valinor in the end. But everybody else here dies. Gil-galad, he dies. Celebrimbor, he dies. But so does everybody else who has to die in place of them until they can die. This whole thing is ridiculous and stupid and boring. These characters are morons. Galadriel's an idiot. Should have let Adar die. Legolas the Black, he has no agency whatsoever. Everything gets stolen from him, and he gets to not even fight the guy and look like he has a chance to win. Celebrimbor is a shadow of what he should be. He should have been a man on the ramparts fighting to the last man, not cutting off his own thumb when he could have used the device to cut the chain. They think we're stupid because they're stupid. They think we can't see things, but we do. Nothing in this show has worked from moment one, from season 1, episode 1. Nothing's ever worked, and it's not going to work. Next week, the finale. I can't wait, because then I'm done. But for now, we are also done with this review. Thank you for watching this review. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys this Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on This Is Mordor Country, where we, the panel and myself, will roast the ever-living hell out of this episode. So thank you all. I'll catch you next time. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.